probably enrolled your child at St Joseph's many, many years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, you probably had a conversation with Mark or myself around the enrolment at that period of time, or possibly even Chris Curran, and we probably showed you through. But there was something about the school that you liked, and you connected with our school to make you want to send your child here. I probably want to reinforce that there's a lot that's changed in the school. There's certainly been a lot that's changed for the good in the 4 years that I've been here as well. But at the core of that is that not much has changed as far as the people in the school, the care that school shows, and the wraparound impact that our school has the ability to have on students in its care. So there's lots of underpinning reasons, but they're the core reasons what I think makes St Joseph's Murray Bridge a special place. We can talk about the Catholic values, they're absolutely important. We can talk about all those things up there, but core to it is that we've got a great community school, one that wraps around every child, one where every teacher knows every child in the school as well. That was something that existed 6 years ago, and I do believe it's going to exist into the future as well. So it's unlike any other school that I've experienced. I've taught at 7 other Catholic schools, and I keep coming back to the culture that exists in St Joseph's Murray Bridge as well. There's a lot of things that happen in this school as well that give students voice, that give them the opportunity to grow as learners. And they're so pivotal, those key things that aren't really explicit. We don't really talk about them much, they just sort of happen. But they're such important skills for our children to grow. We talk about engaged learners, inquisitive thinkers, empowered creators, relationship building. They're all key things that we want our children to be when they grow up. We want our children to be leaders in whatever area they end up being in as they grow up. So we pride ourselves on being a Catholic school, and I think the Catholic values underpin everything that we do in our school. We value strong relationships. Every appointment that's made, we consider the relationships that these teachers are able to build with children. The appointment of Annette was certainly very similar to that. Annette, we know, had strong relationships with the students and girls at Kildare, so that was certainly favourable because we do value that, and I know that each and every one of you value that as well. We obviously look at being global citizens as well, hence the early uptake of iPads many, many years ago. We never thought at that period of time that we would have encountered something like COVID last year and this year. We're fortunate that I think South Australia got away with it for 3 days at home. But consider living in Melbourne, the reliance on remote learning, and this school was certainly ready for that and pretty agile in that space as well. And ultimately, we're on about student achievement. So student achievement not only academically but also in the wellbeing space, because the two work in synergy together. If a child's wellbeing is out of kilter, they're not going to achieve academically either. If they're not achieving academically, normally the precursor is their wellbeing. So they are key to what we try and do here at St Joseph's Murray Bridge, trying to get the wellbeing of every child right, and trying to optimise their learning outcomes for themselves as well. And that's only built on relationships that we have with the children, but also understanding of how the children learn and understanding of how we can best support children in whatever phase they're growing through, whether that's from reception to year 3 or whether that's through adolescence from year 6 in some cases up to year 9. I did front load our session tonight with lots of information about the build, the curriculum and everything I knew up to that point. And I did that for a reason, because I wanted to reassure you that the school is in a great position to start next year. I was a bit concerned when someone said to me on my first day here, when they, rightly so, there was just a foundation. I don't think that building's going to be finished in time for the middle school next year. So I thought, there's a little bit of work to do here. So I can assure you that the building will be finished, and I think even in the last 4 or 3 weeks, we've seen a lot of growth in that building. The walls going up. They're going to pour the first floor slab as well, I believe on Friday. So I can share with you specifically, it's meant to finish in mid-October. They are running 3 weeks behind at the moment, but we will catch up that 3 weeks, if not 4, by the end of the build as well. So I know everyone's seen a fly-through. I'm not going to show that again, but if you haven't, has anyone not seen it? If you haven't seen it, it's going on in the office near Mr. Gates and Mrs. O'Neill's desk, so you can see the outside. In the coming weeks as well, I'll share with you an internal fly-through of what it might look like on the inside as well. So that's being prepared at the moment. So as soon as I get my hands on that, I'd love to share that with you. And I'll do that via the newsletter. And I'm also going to share it with the students as well. At some point in time as well, in the next few weeks, the students will get invited, not next few weeks, about next term, the students will get invited to walk through the building, the incomplete building. So they'll have hard hats on and high-vis vests and everything to get a feel for the space as well, which is so important. So they can begin to own the space, which is important for adolescents because they need to belong in that space, and part of that is ownership of their space as well. So there's lots of things, and I'm sure you've, in previous meetings, you've learnt all about the building, etc., and what's in it. But core to it, what is in it, are good staff and great students. And ultimately, the combination is going to get great outcomes for your children as well as they progress through the middle school. It's so important, the core elements of understanding every child. That doesn't change. And it's important that we continue that. We're a small school, we know that, but the great thing about being a small school is that every child is known. Every child in what they do is known as well. So, and every child's results, learning, academic and well-being are known. And we can begin to actually tap in to students to to ensure that they maximise their full potential. Interestingly, in the research coming out at the moment, is that if you can track a child between year 3 to year 9, you can predict their year 12 outcome within 7%. It's pretty amazing. So hence we're starting to collect data in this space, which is going to inform that. But the great thing about knowing where a child's going to land is that we can influence where they're going to land as well. So if they're not achieving to their full ability, we can help them do that. So, and that we've got 3 dioceses in New South Wales already predicting year 12 results based on data that they've collected from year 3 to 9. So it's so important. It's important as well around students belonging in their place of school, because what we know is that if students are able to succeed from reception to year 9, they're going to excel in year 12. So that's really important. It's around supporting children through their change, through adolescence, that's going to make that super important. Because we know that the students lost between years 10 and 12, there's 4,700 students who are lost, between years 11 and 12, lost every year. So we don't want children to be lost. And the important thing about not being lost is being known. So that's so crucial in the development of the school, but the core underpinning reasons as to why we wanted to move to a middle school as well. There's 3 of us, and I'm sure there's parents in the room who have worked in secondary schools as well, myself included. We know that it's a tricky time. We know that the band gets stretched. the relationship between mum and dad gets stretched during that time as well. As students go through change, their own personal changes. But it's important to have networks around them, school network, home network, club network, to ensure that they stay connected with their community and stay connected with their school, but most importantly, stay connected with their family and have a great sense of self as well. These were the questions that came out. I thought I'd share them openly. We haven't doctored them at all, they're pretty raw. So these were the questions that were given to us in the RSVP process. So I've highlighted them different colours because we intend to answer each and every one of those questions in different parts of tonight's presentation. So hopefully we'll walk away having an understanding of where we sit with each of these questions. And I want to just reiterate that we will go back to these questions at the end to ensure that they have been answered. You've got a full understanding, and also give the opportunity to ask any questions as well. And beyond that, we'll all be standing around after if you want to come and have a chat to us with any other questions that you may have.
I like about the new buildings coming. I really like when I have some nice friends and a teacher called Mrs. Rowland. That's really nice. I like reward time on Friday. So Miss Strider has some boxes and they have toys in them that we get to play with. So actually learning so we can get very smart.
I think St. Joseph's is like a very good school because it helps you learn all this stuff and even helps you learn more stuff that you need to learn.
Well, like there's loads of inclusive people and they add you to other games, and while you're lonely you can just go to a person and then they'll allow you to play with them.
The fact that it's a very safe school that provides lots of amazing learning opportunities.
A science class. Well, I think it might be a year 8, year 9, year 10 or an archaeologist learning space as well. High school.
Building? It's a high school, is it? Would you like to go to high school here?
Yes,
Why would you like to go to high school here?
because it would probably be fun. There's going to be one bottom, keep going up to the, it's going to be up, okay?
So
Going to be 1, 2.
2 levels.
There's going to be actually 3.
What do you reckon it would be?
The 7 to 9 secondary school.
Well, if they could stay overnight, I would put some bunk beds and desk that you can work in your bunk beds as well, so you don't have to move around. We can paint. A painting teacher. I'll make like a big area for them and then make like different areas for different classes in the secondary schooling.
Make it very big, very creative, I guess, Des.
Well, I really like to learn about maths, old and new stuff. Literacy groups. Making the books and putting them together to make stuff. Poetry, because I really enjoy writing poems and reading others.
My favourite subject is science because I'll be like, and learning about the earth is my favourite bit of it.
History.
Why?
because I love learning about what happened back then. I just find it super interesting.
Are you going to the...
Yes.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I am.
What are you looking forward to the most?
Just inside the building. I've seen pictures of what it's supposed to look like and it just looks really cool.
Should be great.
It will be.